I have a question. I was wondering if you guys have any questions for each other that we might hear, you might want to ask each other while you have the chance.
I guess I have a question. For all of you guys, what was your biggest challenge to overcome in making your films?
I think that the entire thing was pretty challenging because obviously the purpose of life isn't an easy question to ask someone. So it was just a pretty challenging thing, and not just for the question of what is the purpose of life, but actually figuring it out for myself and realizing it, I guess.
Well, my challenging part was editing. My software decided not to agree with me as I was finishing, so that was pretty frustrating. I spent 2 hours trying to put one clip into the storyline or timeline.
There was an awful lot of creativity in what was done, but also a lot of deep thinking happened in the process. I'm interested in knowing what things you learned, what ideas came to you, what understandings you came to that were surprising, unexpected.
Yes, I'll go. For one of our scenes that we shot, it rained in, so we had to stay an extra, I think, 2 or 3 hours so we could film because the rain had rained us out of our shot.
I was definitely surprised by how, I want to say, non-judgmental the camera can be. Maybe different than when you're on stage and there are people watching you and there's thoughts going through their head. But when you're filming something in front of a camera, the camera is not judging you. It's the audience that you're going to show it to later. And so maybe it's a more controlled environment, more controlled response.
I think that what surprised me most is that the question I asked the answers could be such a wide range, and everybody's different, and everybody's lives are different, and everybody obviously had different words, but it was kind of all the same thing. Everybody was still kind of aiming towards being happy and happiness as the overall answer. So I thought that was kind of surprising because you never really know what people are going to say because everybody obviously has lived different lives. So I thought that was kind of cool.
The amount of teamwork and effort it takes to work with a bunch of people, I think that's one of the things that should be accounted for because on the set of ours, the day when it rained for 2 hours, everyone was stuck in Gaetano's yurt and waiting for the rain to stop, and that was tremendous.
I was surprised by how well the video came out for a few people who were not experienced in media at all. So I'm proud of that.
So my question is, how is participating in these projects or filmmaking or media making, how has that changed you or influenced your life? That's it.
For me personally, I think I struggled with stage fright for a little over 10 years. And I never thought I could, especially be in front of a camera, if people watch me. And it was definitely a challenge, but something I think I'm really happy that I got over just a little bit. I mean, it's my first time, and I really enjoyed it, the camaraderie, and it was definitely a lot of fun, definitely worth it.
Taught me how to appreciate what it takes to make a movie, and now when I actually watch a movie, I can pick it apart, and I actually really enjoy that. So,
well, doing stuff like this put me here, and before I never really knew that I could do film, and I finally did it, and I get to sit with people and be recorded. Yeah, but I get to be around people and meet people from all over the place and see what they're doing and hear what they're doing and just having new friends.
I think that it changed my life completely because if it wasn't for making media, I don't think I would be where I am today. I don't think I would be who I am today, and I definitely wouldn't know the people I know today, and I definitely wouldn't know the things I know today. I learned something every day from it, and I think that it's just like one of the most amazing things that anybody could ever do, because it's just like a full outlet of being able to express yourself and express your creativity.
Well, this project made me want to go to film school, like really bad. It's 50 grand a year though, so it's gonna be hard. But it also taught me that I'm actually good at it, so that was important.
I learned to be like less independent, and it's okay to accept help from other people, because my whole life I haven't really accepted help from other people. I've tried my best to do everything by myself because I'd feel like I didn't achieve it if I have someone helping me. But being in this program taught me that just because someone helps you doesn't mean you're less of a person. It just means that everybody needs help, and that's being a human.
I saw a lot of metaphors in the video, and I wanted to know if you guys could just like extrapolate on what they really meant in your video, specifically in Brianna's with the paint and just a whole bunch of just what things would actually, like what did things really mean in your video that weren't so upfront?
Sorry, my heart is like racing. I don't really like talking. But the point of the video that we made was that people go through their life wondering who they're gonna be. They don't know who they are. They find themselves in other people, so they copy other people from what they see, and they see that they're accepted, so they feel like they'll be accepted if they're that person, when it all comes down to you should just be yourself. So it's being original instead of just looking at someone and taking their ideas, make up your own. So that's why I painted myself all different colors. That was really fun, except if you paint your face, it burns. So, yeah. For our movie, I think specifically, there were a few metaphors, but maybe the most important one was toward the end. The separation of the brother and sister, representing different ideals, different ways of wanting to live their lives, and the acceptance in the end that they have to allow each other to grow by separating.
For me, watching that was a ton of emotions ran through my head and everything, and I was like, wow, they must have had a lot of emotional things that they had to deal with, to just like put themselves out there and create such a great short, long video. But my question is, what was the most emotional part of making those short media productions?
The most emotional part I can recall from mine, like the third reel, was Juliana and her gun, and like confronting Majestic and everyone else who was walking out of the forest. That shot took so much energy because the whole time she was laughing and holding a gun, and it was so emotional in the sense that you have to be serious. Like, to get the shot, she had to be so serious, and it took her forever, but we finally did it.
One part that Darian mentioned in the bloopers, which you guys didn't get to see, was after the stabbing scene, Sylvia and Juliana were apologizing to each other for stabbing one another, and it was pretty funny, definitely, since I don't think you would have ever guessed that happening from just the serious tone, but oh my God, it was so funny.
I think that the hardest part for mine was obviously the conclusion, because it was real for me, and it took a lot to compare, I don't know how to say it. I had to think about my entire life, I guess, to think of something to say. And yeah, that was hard.
There was my friend Antonio, who kept on making these faces at me, and I kept on laughing. So it was hard to find a clip of me not laughing to fit in the video, because it's supposed to be serious. And then in the bathroom, Lindsay had to get up on the toilet to shoot me from high up, and we thought we broke it, because all this water kept on coming out of it. So.
I just want you guys to sort of touch on like the inspirations behind your film, and where did the ideas come from?
For ours, the idea just, I don't know, I think it's something that almost everyone can relate to, and me personally especially, I feel like I've had a lot of struggles trying to figure out exactly who I am, where I want to be, where I want to go. And so I kind of wanted to create a video that illustrated that a little bit.
Me, Mahia, Aiden, and Bowen had sat down and we started pondering ideas like what would happen if only the kids were left, like what would the kids do? So that's where the inspiration came for our movie.
My inspiration is a lot like Lindsay's. Like, it's just something everybody goes through and asks themselves, and having struggles and going through life, wondering like, what is the point of all of it? Like, is it really worth doing it? And just figuring out like who you are, I guess.
Mine was, like, I see all these different people. They'd be dressed up like a prep one day and then come in goth the next. So it kind of like bothers me that they're trying all these different things, but they just, labels shouldn't really be anything. Like, labels is just a word that someone says, and the only person that gives that label power is you if you keep on following it. So, like, I'm labeled emo or goth because my hair is in my face, but I'm not, because I smile all the time and people like stereotype me like that. So like, I just wanted to film something to tell people that you shouldn't be what other people want you to be. You should just be yourself, and yeah.
I think inspiration came from like every corner of our group, in the sense that a lot of people like put a lot of thought process into the whole thing, and it was tremendously overwhelming. So yeah.
A kid in our group wrote the entire story himself, and I don't really know where it came from, but it could have been personal issues, or it could have been issues like that surround him in his life. So I don't know where he got it from, but it was pretty good.
There was something else incredible that happened today that wasn't documented, and that was just all of the conversations and bonding and connecting that happened throughout the day among all of these folks from all over the state. And so I'm just hoping that continues, and we'll see you again next year. For the third annual New York ShoutOut, and I think we're going to grow from here. And it sounds like we're going to see people at other things all over the place. There are lots of other media conferences. I know that everybody now wants to go visit Harlem Live and go take a trip on the Veggie Bus. But most importantly, let's give a big last round of applause to our incredible youth media makers. Everybody stand up. I want all the amazing young media makers, please stand up so we can acknowledge you. Stand up, stand up, stand up.